say that Humvee had some sort of gas leak in it because at the same time, every day, that commute was an hour long. We would start to doze off behind the wheel, or I would start to doze off behind the wheel. People would sleep in the back. Whoever was in the passenger seat would fall asleep too. I'm pretty sure the gunner was asleep half the time. Usually I was just fighting the sandbag. I mean, it was an easy drive, but it wasn't an easy drive because we had done it so many times, blah, blah, blah. And just as I'm dozing off, I see the biggest fireball I've ever seen in my entire life in front of me. And it's one of those things where you see it before you hear it. Obviously, the speed of light is faster than the speed of sound. And
how do you know that you're not dreaming this, that you're not sleeping?
Oh, it certainly feels like I'm in a dream. It does. It feels like I'm in a dream, but I know that I'm not.
How do you know that you're not?
I guess what woke me up is at first I was new in Germany, in a part of Germany I'd never been before. In her car, I was afraid she was going to go crazy. And the odometer on her car stopped at 150, and I looked. I knew we were going fast. I looked over at the odometer, and I could see the needle is past the highest number. And I'm thinking, what am I doing here? Why am I putting my life on the line? And at some point, a vehicle started speeding up behind us, and I knew I was going to have to fire a warning shot. It's one of those textbook cases where you're going to fire a warning shot. And I realized I couldn't fire into the air. He wouldn't hear or see me do that. But at the same time, he's coming up on us real quick, so I aimed my weapon at him, hoping he would see it. I was thinking to myself, come on, you have to see the burning vehicle. You have to see the American shooting. You have to see me pointing my weapon at you. Stop. But he didn't stop. So I remember leaning over. I'm like, how fast are we going? And she just kind of laughed and said, you don't know anything about love. Did you know that? And I remember I freaked out then, too. And I was like, we do not need to be going from Vilseck to Munich. It's an hour-and-a-half drive. We do not need to make it there in 40 minutes. Because we were seriously going, I think, almost 200 miles an hour. Yeah, and I'm thinking, I'm going to have to shoot into the vehicle or shoot at the vehicle. I'm going to have to do something. So I think to myself, I know what will get his attention because I was a pretty good shot. I'll put a bullet right down the center of the windshield. And at about the same moment I decided I was going to do that, was the same moment I heard somebody, I don't know who it was, behind me say, shoot. And so I shot. And the bullet went in the center of the windshield just like I wanted it to. And I didn't want to hit the driver, obviously. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody, just make him stop. And the car did stop. It fishtailed a little bit, and it stopped. And I was like, good. I messed up his windshield. I didn't care about that. I wanted him to stop. He stopped. But then a woman got out of the back seat, and she started screaming, like wailing, like wailing. And I didn't know what had happened. It didn't occur to me, what had happened. I thought maybe I just scared her or something. So I just remember getting really apologetic. Like, hey, you're freaking out, I'm freaking out. She's like, what is freak? It was really funny because like her English was like my German. I had to think about what I was saying first in my head, and then it would come out. It would come out wrong, but it would come out to what she knew what I was trying to say. But when she was angry, just English words were coming out. They weren't sentences. The words were it was just words. It was just random English words coming out, and I could not understand what she was even trying to say. It would make her even more upset. So I just remember that she swerved to the right really hard to avoid rear-ending the vehicle in front of us. And the car fishtailed a little bit and skidded, went up into the air, and just kind of floated off the road beautifully. Like a little one-word dialogue. Like, wow, the car stopped. But then the driver and the passenger and another passenger got out. All four people got out, and I realized, oh my God, I think the car was full. And I aimed at the center of the windshield. I remember thinking to myself, oh no. And the other soldier who was pulling rear security with me, he said, I think you got someone. And the way this woman was screaming, I was And the way everybody jumped out of the car, I was like, I think I did hurt somebody. And so, I can't remember if I called out for the medic, because my first instinct was to run out there and, start apologizing and seeing if there was anything I could do to help the person who was in there who I might have hurt. And so I was calling for the medic, but the medic was still working on the soldiers who were burned in the vehicle. And I had to explain, I was like, well, you're confused, I'm confused. I just want to go home and sleep on it, and I'll call you in the morning. And she's like, she accepted that, so we started driving again. I just kept my mouth shut because I didn't want her to pull over again. And at some point, I don't remember when it was, but they pulled a body out of the back seat. And the way they pulled him out, they kind of just like grabbed his legs and let his upper part, just his upper torso was kind of like flop on the ground and everything. And then they pulled him out, and everybody just stood around and looked at him. I was like, I can't watch this. I can't watch this. I didn't mean to do that. And I was like, so I went back in front of the vehicle. I got my wits back about me. At the time, I was like, shit, I'm going to go to jail. I just shot somebody who didn't need to be shot. I didn't know that kind of thing would just be ignored later on. But I ran back to the rear of the car, and I remember yelling, and never call me again. I slammed the door, and she couldn't get in through the gate. Or no, I heard somebody yell, they're opening the trunk. Are they going to get weapons or what? I went back to the front of the vehicle, or to the rear of the vehicle, so I could see what was going on, and they put the guy in the trunk and drove away. And that was it. And if the guy was okay, or if the guy was only wounded, why would they just throw him in the trunk, drop the trunk, and drive away? But, after that, another vehicle came speeding up behind us, but I learned my lesson. But I shot at the vehicle, but I hit the driver or the license plate of the vehicle. I didn't shoot into the vehicle. But there was so much confusion. I can tell you the events that happened, but I can't tell you with any degree of certainty in what order these events happened. There was just way too much going on, way too much confusion. But yeah, that was probably one of my worst days.
Okay. Let's take a little break, and we can talk a little bit, without the recording, because basically, I really like the story you told me, but I don't think. It's taken up about 30 minutes. And I don't think that, I think it's too long. I think people's attention span is not that long.
Probably right.
So, I don't know how Patrick talked to you, but I'm definitely not so much, looking for a political angle. I'm more interested in terms of, the way that experience is basically turned into memory, and then the way that memories become stories, the way that memories become, mediated, they become recorded and broadcasted and so forth. I guess I'll give you a call. You've been very generous with your time, so that's enough.
Okay.
So how do you feel about improvising?
I guess it depends. It depends on how you feel at the time, whether you're awake and alert and everything. Sure, I can improvise.
Can you improvise now?
You're not going to ask me to dance, sorry. No, I'm sure I could. I guess it depends on the subject, something I'm knowledgeable about.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to improvise an excuse for work, or improvise a reason why I failed to be where I was supposed to be. So I think we improvise on a daily basis.
All right, so let's improvise.
Okay. when I was brand new to Germany. It was my first Christmas that I wasn't home. My very first Christmas I wasn't home.
Looks like a high-tech prison. Futuristic. Yeah, we go up.
So did we go to up one?
Yeah, I think we hit all the floors.
We went up one. Up one. Down 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Whoa. Whoa. This museum quarter, people just hang out here all day. It's got all the museums. Playing pétanque. The place is full of kids, 21-year-olds, 30-year-olds. You could be their little Aloha Shack's got cold drinks, beer, snacks, and ice cream. All in one place. Out of the museum plots onto the street. Combat fashions. Yep. Statues are all over Vienna. There's St. Barbara again. Look at this. St. Rosalia. I know, it's a little Peugeot. This is the kind of car you need around here. Either that or a Smarty. I mean, You're talking about narrow streets. These guys are good mileage. And they sell these car to go things. You could rent them. There's still a lot of big cars in Europe. We see a lot of course, oh yeah. We see a lot of German cars. Some beautiful Audis. Sports cars. I'll have to take a picture of some of those when I see one again. Did you throw away your old albums, folks? Too bad. They're back in. Nice little compact system. No more CDs. This is a tube amplifier. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. High end. Beauty. Ooh. See those giant output transformers? Giant amplifier tubes. And you got your small preamp tubes. That's the way it used to be. What is this? Oh, this is nice. This is a portable unit. We still got a whole shitload of albums from the bar days.